They go out, we go racing, and it is a good start there from Connor Halfer. But around the final corner, it is going to be the number 78. Connor Halfer takes the victory here in the Micro Max final. Stay in formation, and the lights go out, we go racing, and it's a good start then from the number 129. That is, of course, Tygo Holthausen, who takes over the lead in this one.
We make it look so fancy when we're in the place, stunning, so money, easy like 3, 2, 1 thing, line I'm cutting.
And Daan is deciding to give a little bit of a push towards the hairpin then. For the final time, to take the checkered flag, it's going to be Julian Dermer who takes the victory here in the Minimax final.
Ja, es ist sehr gut, es ist ein gutes Gefühl, auf seiner Alpenstrecke zu gewinnen. Ja.
Het ging best goed. Pre-finale was ik eerste, maar ja, finale. Nummer 1 heeft gewoon super sterk gereden en ik vind het een prima weekend.
Ja, het was wel leuk. Het is mijn eerste top 3. Het ging super goed. Ik had een 4e kwalificatie gisteren. Ik ben best goed in de regen omdat ik heel lang op slicks heb gereden in de Rockies, in de 4-takt. Dus het ging wel lekker.
And the lights go out, we go racing now. We are racing, and up the inside goes that 296 of Brand van der Weken. How about this for a battle then? There goes Albazaki. Boaz Maximov takes the victory in the Max Juniors.
Ja, ging hartstikke goed. Aan de start was het een beetje moeilijk, maar daarna goed doorgekomen. En ja, vanaf rondje 4 de leiding weten te pakken en gewoon een heel groot gat weggereden.
Hoe was het om hier in de regen te rijden?
Het was moeilijk, want er lag heel veel regen op de baan, dus moeilijk om goede tractie te vinden. Maar uiteindelijk, ja, het plaatje klopte dit weekend. Dus we staan nu heel goed, we staan nu eerste met een heel groot gat. Dus we hopen dat we dit vast kunnen houden.
We do go racing this time, and it's a good start there for the 466. That's Wout Kirstjens. And now looking for a move down the inside in towards the left-hander. There's contact between the two, and towards the line to take the checkered flag. It is Mika van der Pavert. The red lights go on, and they go out, and it's a launch off the line then for Van der Herk. He takes the lead then through in towards the first corner. That's a spin-off, that's the 136. That's Steen who's off. Glenn van den Herk, who will power his way towards the line to take the checkered flag and the race victory. Lights go on, they go out, we go racing. It's initially a good launch off the line then from Kevin Stehauer. Can he keep that position then as we make our way through in towards the first hairpin for the very first time then? It looks like that is the case. Kevin Stehauer looks down the inside and takes the move then. To take the victory of the final of the KZ2, it is Robin Glerum. And we are racing, and it's a good start initially there for the 345. So Devian Rurst gets himself into the lead of the race then. Can he hold on to that lead? And there's contact in the background there.
So it's starting to get a little bit more serious, but we're in the midway point of the season.
The path to Portimao truly starts here at Circuit Park Verheim. Every driver that wants to book that place on the biggest stage of all in global karting must compete in every single race, all 7. No exceptions, no excuses. Revs are up, and we are green for the first time into turn 1. Time to get your elbows out.
It's a lot of commitment also from the family, as you said. That's one of the best things about karting, I think.
Here in the Netherlands, always with the UKS, it's always a family gathering around, and you see always the same people. And it's like all, a little family, and you do it all together, and that's nice.
It is nice, and it's important also for the drivers to have that support and to know that their family's there with them.
So we have to do it all together.
Absolutely wizard racing. Welcome back to the podium.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be in the world. And welcome to the beautiful Erftlandring. It's beautiful weather here in Kerpen, Germany. And we are ready to present to you round 5 of the United Karting Series. Well, an exciting time it is, and well, the weather is as it is like. Here at Kerpen, great sunshine, you saw in the preview video. It can get very, very wet here. None of that expected this weekend. Beautiful sunshine all throughout the weekend is expected. So let's hope we have that too. It's hot here in Kerpen, both for drivers, mechanics, everyone surrounding the circuit. It's very, very warm. So yeah, we are blessed with good weather, but with that comes the heat obviously as well. Great to have you all along with me. Again, my name is Daan. Pepls. I'll be providing you with the commentary for this weekend. And things are looking a bit different for this weekend. And that is because we have Heat 1 on the Saturday. We've just had qualifying. We're actually seeing the last of it. It's Minimax out there qualifying at the moment. And we will move into Heat 1 very, very shortly. Max Jr. will be starting the heats off. Then we have Max Seniors, then DD2 and DD2 Masters. Then KZ2, KZ2 Masters, Micromax, and then Minimax to round us off for the Saturday. And all races that I just named will be 9 minutes plus 1 lap. So they'll be around the 10-minute mark all of the races coming up today. That is our schedule. And as I said, on Saturday, so today, it's only Heat 1, and then obviously tomorrow we'll have Heat 2 with the final as well. So loads to look forward to this weekend.
course, normally you'd be expecting Alex Goldschmidt on the mic. But Alex Goldschmidt is a busy man, so he sadly couldn't be here this weekend for you guys. So therefore, it's me, Daan Pepls, on the mic for you this weekend. I'm very happy to be here at Kerpen. I drove in for the first time this morning here, and the atmosphere was, I mean, it's just buzzing as it is every racing weekend with the UKS. Once again, we have a full paddock, a jam-packed paddock. For the Max Juniors, which will be the first ones to venture into the heats today. There's 25 drivers on the grid. For Max Senior, it's 27 or 28, excuse me. And that's only what I have on my first page. There's 31 drivers in total. So a big grid for them. DD2, DD2 Masters, a total of 23 drivers. So again, loads of drivers here this weekend. The Erftlandring at Kerpen then, 1.1 kilometers long this track, with a total of 12 corners. And of course, who doesn't know the history of this track? The track where Michael Schumacher, of course, grew up. And known to so many, just because of that alone, this track. And for these drivers here this weekend, it's their road to a championship. Michael Schumacher, of course, has 7 world championships in Formula 1. Drivers on this grid just aiming to get 1 UKS championship under their belt this year. As the Minimax qualifying has come to an end, the track empties again, and we get ready for our pre-grid for the Max Juniors. Ending up on the flatbed in qualifying is never what you want to see. Track temperature out there must be skyrocketing with the sun beating down on it all day. The current air temperature out there, the hottest it will be all day, and it will stay this warm for quite a bit longer. 30 degrees centigrade. Here we go. On to the pre-grid they go. Special to this circuit, though, is that the pre-grid area is quite tight and quite small. So therefore, drivers line up on the start-finish straights together with their mechanics. And we have seen some drivers actually today already getting the luxury of an umbrella in the heat, just to keep themselves out of the sun for a tiny bit longer before they go to race. And right on cue, actually. It's an umbrella coming through. I think this is also a great time to say a massive thank you to all of the personnel walking around the circuit, working their socks off in the heat, and of course our marshals out there who can enjoy the racing trackside, but have to be in the baking sun all day as well. Massive thank you to them for allowing us to go racing. I'm sitting up here in the commentary booth with the AC on full tilt. So for me, it's luxury in here. The guys and girls out there having to endure the heat. Right, anticipation is building as we start preparing for the Max Junior first heat. There, the 225, that's our pole sitter. Julian Dömer, who's classed as a rookie. Not really a rookie performance, though, from the German. He finds himself on pole position for the first heat. That also means he's on pole position for the heat tomorrow. So he doing an awesome job in qualifying. The trolleys go out. And the whistle sounds to clear the grid. It's the drivers to themselves now. Start their engines. And we get underway with the warm-up lap in the Max Juniors, and that gives us the time to go through the grid of the Max Juniors. On the pole position, as I just mentioned, Julian Dömer, the rookie, not really a rookie performance from the German. He starts on pole position with Jentemone next to him on the front row. Olivier Mazarkiewicz, he finds himself in P3. Trent van Meelik finds himself in 4th. Tico Holthausen in P5. Leonel Menguia in P6. Lieke van Boekel in 7th. Connor Half in P8. 9th is Diede de Dale. And 10th is Kai Abelera. That is your top 10 for you. Storm van Rossum, he finds himself in 11th. Matthias Verreken, P12. Jurd Rent, P13. Milano. Skip Horst, he finds himself in 14th. Sasha Al-Jabriel, he finds himself in P15. Justin Vonk in 16th. Pelle van Echelt, he finds himself in 17th. James van der Poel, he finds himself in 18th. 19th and 20th is Nico Naruhito Tomase, and 20th is Joshua Laurensen. 21st and 22nd, Leon Herbots and Sebastian Vochten. Then 23rd and 24th, Jesse Andringa and Yara Kivitsbosch. And then 25th and last on the grid is the Belgian Joshua Rejal. Right then, formation lap for the Max Juniors. Time to get underway and racing. From the commentary box, I have a brilliant view on the start lights. As the drivers get told to line up nice and early in the side-by-side formation. Well, the anticipation is building as we get to a nice and slow rolling start as we round the final corner. Varalaga Kurve on the left-hand side of screen. The lights are out. We're underway and we're racing. 9 minutes of racing ahead of us. We got to it very, very slowly. Oh, there's a car up and over each other. More contact in the background. Everyone seems to have got going again. But Julian Dömer has lost the lead to, I think, Olivier Mazarkiewicz or Mazarkiewicz, who's gotten up into P1 from P3. It was a slow trundle to the line. After that, none of the same. As we cross the line for the first time, it is the 2:16 of Olivier Mazarkiewicz leading the way ahead of Julian Dömer. And remember, all of these heats, with all of the heat today and tomorrow together, decide the starting grid for the final, where points will be awarded. As we edge closer and closer to the finale of the championship at Karting Genk in November. Oh, it's the 209 who's out. He's furious. Throwing his gloves away in anger. But that is Leonel Menguia, who is, well, understandably angry after retiring from the race. And with only 2 heats, that's devastating to his starting position in the final tomorrow. Mazarkiewicz doing an awesome job of extending the lead over Julian Dömer, who himself is creating a bit of a gap to Lieke van Boekel in 3rd place. Lieke van Boekel up 4 positions, up 12 positions is Pelle van Echtelt. having a tremendous comeback. There he is in the background, leading that second train. Is Tycho van Holthuizen, and behind that is Pelle van Echtelt, up 12 positions, up 13 positions Sebastian Vochten, up 10 Jark Kiewicz-Bosch, from almost dead last on the grid to 14th. As the gap at the front of the field came down last lap by about 0.2 of a second. Gap this time around has stayed the same for Olivier Mazurkiewicz. Oh, that's the 2.42 gone wide. Losing a lot of momentum. That was Pelle van Echtelt, who was in a tussle with Jörg Drent across the line. Olivier Mazurkiewicz, though, at the front of the field, doing a tremendous job at holding that lead. Still chasing is Julian Deurma. Lieke van Boekel still in third. And then there's a bit of a gap, 1.3 seconds back to Tycho Holthuizen. What can he do? Jildren the furthest, 6/10 back on that. And Storm van Vossen also 6/10 back on Holthuizen. And Jildren in front of him. Gap has come down once again at the front of the field. Julian Deurma slowly but surely chipping away at that gap. Just under 3/10 remaining now for Olivier Mazurkiewicz, who had an awesome start to the race. But his pace has dropped a tiny bit. Matthias Verreken with a new fastest lap of 45.5. Lieke van Boekel also closing in on Julian Deurma. And she might be able to go for a move at the end of the straight. Into turn 1 we go. Or turn 2, sorry, Spitskeren. But not this time round. Lieke van Boekel thinks the better of it. A third place would be tremendous. 4 places gained on where she started. A bit of wiggle room for the heat tomorrow. There we go, Julian Deurma now on the back of Olivier Mazurkiewicz. Can he think about a move? He's close enough to think about it. Can he go for it though? Into turn 2, no is the answer. As we switch perspective, oh, there is Lieke van Boekel now. She really seems to be strong in the middle sector of the track. Exit turn 2 to really the exit of turn 8, that's where she's strong. That's where the bulk of the corners are. And then the end of the second sector, the start of the third, that's where Julian Deurma closes in again on Olivier Mazurkiewicz. This time he's even closer going into turn 1. He might be forced to go for a move now. He's thinking about it. Inside defended by Mazurkiewicz. Lieke van Boekel trying around the outside. Also not a possibility. Switch back. And look in the background. Tycho Holthuizen has now caught up to the trio fighting. And this is what they wanted to avoid. Mazurkiewicz has made a mistake. He's dropped back to third. Deurma now up at the first. Lieke van Boekel second. But what happened to Olivier Mazurkiewicz? He's now under threat from Tico Holthausen and potentially dropping out of the top 3. And Lieke van Boekel is still on the rear bumper of Julian Deuma. An opportunity this time around for Lieke van Boekel. This is where Julian Deuma is strong. That second part of the or that third half of the track, really. Mazurkiewicz is looking for a move on Lieke van Boekel again. Try and get himself back up into second place. Next lap will be the last lap. And can Julian Deuma hang on to make it a pole position and a race win? He surely will have to look behind him at some point. Lieke van Boekel once again closed up in the middle sector. And now it opens back up again, going into the third. Here they come to go on to the final lap. Mazurkiewicz can't think about a move. Lieke van Boekel has to defend the inside slightly. Just covering off a potential move from Mazurkiewicz behind. Did compromise her slightly. Tico Holthausen is also looking to get himself up into the top 3. No, looks like Julian Deuma has this locked down. As they rise up again into sector 3. Final corner for Julian Deuma as he comes through to take his victory in Heat 1. Pole position and victory so far for Julian Deuma, but he had to work for that one. Lieke van Boekel made him work hard. Olivier Mazurkiewicz made him work hard. Julian Deuma will hold on. Lieke van Boekel up 5 as well there. Up 13 is Sebastian Vogten in 9th. Those are your biggest gainers in the field. Result then, Julian Deuma wins out of Lieke van Boekel in 2nd. Olivier Mazurkiewicz in 3rd. Tico Holthausen in P4. Jurt Rent and Storm van Rossum 5th and 6th. Ren van Melik, Matthias Verreken 7th and 8th. Sebastian Vogten and Conor Hauff, he finds himself in 10th. Sebastian Vogten in 9th. Justin Vonk in 11th. Kai Abelera in 12th. Pelle van Echtelt in P13. His early rise up the field sadly compromised a tiny bit towards the end. And Nicky Naruhito, he finds himself in 14th. James van der Poel in 15th. Milano Schephorst in 16th. Sasha Al-Jabril in 17th. Leon Herbots in 18th. Jarakiewicz Bosch in 19th. And 20th is Joshua Lauritsen. 21st, Jesse Andringa, Joshua Rejal, Leon Mingwe, Jentemone and Diede de Dale at the back of the grid. With Leon Mingwe, Jentemone and Diede de Dale not seeing the checkered flag. All right, as it's time to clear the grid for the Max Seniors. Once again, the anticipation builds to the first heat on the Saturday. More action equals more better. And that is what you're getting on the Saturday. Right, off we roll for the warm-up lap in Max Senior. A total of 31 drivers on the grid here, so let's go through them before we get to the slow trundle towards the starting line. Starting in pole position is the 396 of Bram van der Wekke. Lars Lambers next to him on the front row, an all-Belgian front row. With Will Hendricks even making an all-Belgian top three. Boris Verhagen in fourth. Then Max Sadurski in fifth. Mick van den Hout in sixth. Luc Neese in seventh. Jay Zuurveld in eighth. Ninth is Flint Vitters and 10th is Matthijs de Lauwe. Row 6 at the grid, Sverre Uben, Boas Maximov. Row 7, Philippe Falk and Vince van der Halen. Row 8, Cas Boshuis and Nick Soudant. Row 9 is Joren Jelle Bremer and Riemer van Beek. And then row 10 is Vic van Kamphout and Niels Verkooyen. 21st is Jake Menton, Sepp ter Horst 22nd, Koen Willems 23rd, 24th Kevin Schneider. Rijn van der Meer 25th, Olivier Lemmens 26th. Kyle Holmans in 27th, 28th is Tristan Chase. 29th is Bo Alriks, 30th is Julian van Bossem and 31st is Mitch Heinert. Phew, that was your whole grid, just about in time. We're on the formation lap now for the Max Seniors. And once again, it's a slow trundle towards the start-finish straight. A bit quicker this time, though, than the Max Juniors. But we get down to walk-in speeds, as is asked of them. And we're going again. The official at the start lights not happy with that. And thus we have to form up again. And we get an extra formation lap. Here we go. Up the hill we go once again. They get told to make sure they're slow enough for the start sequence. Here we go, let's try it again, shall we? We round Spitzkeren in about 30 seconds time. this time we do get going. Towards Spitskeren they all head with Bram van der Vekke in P1. And he stays there. Max Sadurski has already moved up. But a nice gap already being created at the front of the field. Across the line goes Bram van der Vekke for the first lap. And he has kept the lead in front of Biel Hendricks. Then Max Sadurski up to Lars Lambers down to Luc Neese up to Boris Verhagen also down 2 positions. Mick van den Hout also down 2. Jay Zuurveld up 1. Vince van der Halen further back in the field. He is also up 4 on that first lap. Mega first lap by him. As Bram van der Vekke at the front is extending his lead. 7/10 last time round. This time it's 1.2 seconds. Max Sadurski has moved up into second place. Just under 7 minutes to go. In the heat here in Kerpen. Bram van der Vekke keeps extending that lead at the front. Biggest gainers in the field then. We'll see once they come round this time. Max Sadurski still in second place ahead of Lars Lambers. He's up 3. Luc Neesen also up 3 in P4. Up 6 is Vince van der Halen. He now finds himself in P8. Up 11 it is Mitch Heinert from 31st all the way up to 20th. And he's not done there yet. More to come from Mitch Heinert. Julian van Bossum also up 5. As the battle for second place continues, Max Sadurski and the Tony Kart chassis. Then Lars Lambers behind him. Excuse me, Lars Lambers in the Tony Kart chassis. Max Sadurski now behind him. Correct. So Lars Lambers, having overtaken Max Sadurski, lost even more time though towards Bram van der Vekke. But it's now an all Belgian top 2 again. Bram van der Vekke will look over his shoulder and we'll see absolutely no one near him when he crosses the line. Lars Lambers though will start to try and eat into that lead. Has already created himself a nice and handy 4/10 of a gap to Max Sadurski. The battle now really for third place. with Max Sadurski trying to keep himself in there. Trying to cling on to second place. With Luke Nason behind him. Then there's a tiny bit of a gap down towards the second train. Miel Hendricks leading that one. Still down 2 from where they started. The full attack, Miel Hendricks. And through on the inside, I think, goes Vince van der Halen to go up 9 positions. But quite quickly has been repassed by Miel Hendricks. Just under 2.5 minutes to go, plus 1 lap. As Miel Hendricks has dropped down 2 further positions. Vince van der Halen and Boris Verhagen got past. So down to 7th now for Miel Hendricks. Move up the inside. Drivers love a move up the inside there. Sacrifice a bit of exit speed just to make the move. You see the 2 that have escaped. The rest, though, still chasing Miel Hendricks down. Miel Hendricks, stellar defensive race, though. Not the race he wanted to be driving. A few more laps to go. Onto the final lap goes Bran van der Vekke. Miel Hendricks still desperately trying to cling on to 7th place. How much longer can he keep the rest behind? Down 4 positions so far. But it could potentially get a lot worse on this final lap if you see the train behind. Bram van der Vekke really has never looked back. He has looked dominant when he got out into the lead. From the start, he never looked back. And he comes through to take the victory in Heat 1 and put himself in a great position for tomorrow. Lars Lambers also finds himself where he started in 2nd place. But no match today for Bram van der Vekke. Here we go then, let's go through the results. Bram van der Vekke wins ahead of Lars Lambers in second. They stay as they were. Then Max Sadurski in third, Luc Neesen in fourth, Vince van der Halen in fifth, Boris Vragen in sixth, and Emil Hendricks hanging on, clinging on with everything they're worth to P7. Then 8 is Mick van den Hout, 9th is Jay Zuurveld, and rounding off your top 10 is Boaz Maximov up 2. Vince van der Halen also up 9 though. Mega race by Vince. Then 11th is Philippe Valk. 12th Sverre Uben. 13th Matthijs Terlouw. 14th Vic van Kamphout. Up 5 positions as well for Vic. So he also did a tremendous job. Next up though here at Kerpen is DD2 and DD2 Master. start. We get ready and anticipate the DD2 and DD2 Masters race. Heat number 1, 9 minutes plus 1 lap again, just like all the other races coming up today. And while they are on their warm-up lap, we can have a look at the grids for DD2 and DD2 Masters. Julian Kloosman in first, head of Wout Kursens in second, Jordi Clairbout in third, and Pepijn Rietman fourth. Row 3, Scott Westhovens and Ralf van de Pavert. Then row 4, Vince van Kerkhoven and Hugo Klabots. Row 5, Axel Goes en Jesse Spaans. And row 6, Jur Valkenaars and Imke Aerts. Row 7 is Gwen Blokzeil and Dimitri Ostrovsky. Then row 8 is Kaya van der Werf and Erwin Montfort. And row 9 is Karl Clairbots and Filip Wisniewski. Row 10, Christoph Adams and Wim Rouleau. Then behind Wim Rouleau, it's Dirk van Koert, Danny Siemensma and Tom van Weert rounding off the grid. 23 drivers onto the formation lap we go with them. That's also DD2 and DD2 Masters slow right down. Right. As they line up side by side. The man who allows us to go racing has a look at the front of the grid. They come into their starting slots nice and slowly. Surely we will get going at the first time I'm asking here. And yes, we do. Very clean start from everyone involved. And into turn 1 is Wout Kursens, who's trying to go around the outside. A bit of contact further back in the field. Everyone seemingly having gotten through the first couple of turns unscathed. Rounding off the final corner in P1 this time round is Wout Kursens in second. Jordi Clairbout in third, Pepijn Rietman in fourth, Scott Westhovens in fifth, Ralf van de Pavert in sixth. The top 6 has stayed unchanged, with Julian Kloosman leading the race. As they jostle positions on the opening lap quite a bit. Still the top 6 unchanged. Axel Goes finds himself in 7th, Vincent van Kerkhoven in 8th, 9th is Jur Valkenaars and 10th is Hugo Klabots. Biggest gainers on that opening lap, 2 of them with 2 positions gained, Axel Goes and Jur Valkenaars. The rest has mostly stayed where they were. Further back, I think that was Hugo Klabots trying to go for a move on Jur Valkenaars. Now, looking up the inside is Pepijn Rietman and Jordi Clairbout. But that doesn't work out at all. Gets slowed down quite a bit, and because of that loses momentum going uphill. And that's not the place where you want to lose momentum. And thus Pepijn Rietman with that move has lost 3 positions going uphill just because he lost momentum trying to get past Jordi Clairvaux for 3rd. He's now 7th instead. That's how quickly things can change with just one wrong decision. They cross the line. Once again, Julian Kloosman. Now 4 tenths ahead of Wout Kustjens, who himself is 6 tenths ahead of Jordi Clairvaux, who in turn is 7 tenths ahead of Scott Westhoven. So that's your top 4. Top 3 unchanged since the start. Fastest lap of the race is in the hands of Ralf van der Pavert, 44.5. About a tenth quicker than Julian Kloosman just did on that last lap. But Julian Kloosman answers back with his own fastest lap, another 44.5, so marginal improvement, but another 44.5. Fastest lap, he also makes sure that no one's gaining on him. Drivers all over the top 5 now, improving on lap times. Lap times just suddenly tumbling down the more laps we turn. 44.5, another one from Scott Westhoven's. 44.548 this time round. This is the battle for 4th place. With Westhoven against Ralf van der Pavert. Ralf van der Pavert now on the back bumper of Scott Westhoven's. He will wait his turn, onto the straight they go. He will duck into the slipstream. Pulls out to the right hand side, thinks about a move, can't make the move though. Scott Westhoven's first successful defense. And there goes one, Wout Kustjens, Jordi Clairvaux, still in the order that they started. As the gaps do start to tighten up a tiny bit. 7 tenths. From P1 to P2, 2nd to 3rd, just 5 tenths of a second. First 44.4, Ralf van der Pavert, 44.494. Closing up on Scott Westhoven, who just did a 44.549. Kloosman. Almost a gap of a second now. I said it was closing up. Julian Kloosman is starting to stretch his legs now. On Wout Kirstjens in second place. We're getting close to the second to last lap. One extra lap here compared to the Max Senior race earlier. Race lap added to the distance. Here we go, 2 more laps now. Biggest gainers in the field, Jur Valkenaars, Imke Aerts and Axel Goes. 3 positions gained. The drivers already find themselves in Parc Fermé way too early. Dirk van Koert, one of them. Here we go. Final lap's going to be started by Julian Kloosman. Wout Kirstjens still in hot pursuit. Jordi Clairbo in third now, also still 1.3, 1.4 seconds back. Gap has come down 2/10 again, Wout Kirstjens to Julian Kloosman. But it's too little, too late, I fear. Julian Kloosman has done a tremendous job. Early on in the race he made the difference. And he never really looked back from there. He rounds the final corner and sees the checkered flag first. Julian Kloosman from pole to the lights, to the flag. Never in doubt. Right, let's have a look at the results then for the DD2 DD2 Master. Julian Kloosman wins ahead of Wout Kirstjens in second. Jordi Clairbo in third. Ralf van der Pavert in fourth. Fifth is Scott Westover, Axel Goes in sixth. Pepijn Rietman in seventh. Jur Valkenaars in eighth. Imke Aerts in ninth. 10th, Jesse Spaans. 11th, Hugo Clairbo. 12th, Dimitri Ostrovsky. 13th, Gwen Blokzeil. 14th, Kai van der Werf. 15th, Vincent van Kerkhoven. 16th, Erwin Montvoort. 17th, Carl Clairbo. 18th, Christophe Adams. 19th is Wim Rouleau. Danny Siemensma in P20. P21 is Ton van Weert. The drivers not seeing the checkered flag. Dirk van Koert and Filip Wisniewski.
Bobby! Gooien! Hoe ver kan je gooien? Ver kan ze gooien?
All right, here we go. The KZ2s get their push off the start line to start their warm-up lap. With KZ2, obviously, we do something a tiny bit different. We'll talk about that later though. First, let's have a look at the starting grid. First on the grid is Enzo Bol, who finds himself on pole position. Jens Streur finds himself alongside him on the front row. Luca Bremer in third, Mika van der Paver in fourth. Fifth is Daniel Kenbach, and sixth is the climbers. Row 4, Chantal van Handel and Jelke Bauma. Row 5, Sam van Viskel and Ter Wouters. And row 6, Kedingsche and Nelson Berghuis. Those are your 6 rows on the grid, 12 drivers in total. Here are the drivers on the opening warm-up lap of their race. Enzo Bol taking it nice and easy. They get another one. Onto the formation lap they go now. Right then, rallying off the final corner on his own. Oh no, what's happening? No, ladies and gentlemen, this is completely normal. The DD2 and DD2 Masters don't have this, and all the other classes that we've just seen do not have this. But KZ2 has this, and KZ2 Master will have the same. Standing starts, and these are always one of the most exciting parts of the weekend. The acceleration on these things is incredible. Right, here we go. Enzo Bol, nearest driver to you on the front row. Next to him is Jens Terug. Lights out, and away we go. Was that a jump start from our pole sitter? Or was that the reactions of a lifetime? I couldn't see the lights properly from my commentary booth. The sun's on them. But Enzo Bol either had the getaway of his life or he had a jump start. It's two very much extremes. The yellow flag is out in the last sector. We will see no announcements yet from race control. Enzo Bol, Jens Terug, the front row as it was. Behind that, Jelte Bauma up 2 positions. Nelson Berghuis also up 2, with from last with the 10th. The 2 drivers that will not make it across the start-finish line, that's the 219 and the 209, Sam van Voskuilen and Kane Inche. Enzo Bol. Now, will try and increase the gap that he currently has. Still needs 9 points in a second. He would like that to do a tiny bit more if he can. Very stagnant as it is at the moment. Gaps are appearing. And Enzo Bol once again is doing Enzo Bol things. – 1.4 seconds is the lead now. If we look at the championship standings in KZ2, and we'll see I mean, something that we probably all expected, that Enzo Bol is leading the way, and leading the way quite convincingly. The worst place finish for Enzo Bol in a race where points were scored was second place. Jens Terug has been the only one who's been able to beat Enzo Bol on consecutive races. The only other driver together with him who's been able to beat Enzo Bol is Mika van der Pavert, and let it be those two that are chasing Enzo Bol down at the moment. Mika van der Pavert up 1, overtook Luca Bremer on the start. Jelte Bouma up 2, he's into P6. Nelson Berghuis up 2, but also he had to retire from the race. So only the 9. Enzo Bol, Jens Streur, Mika van der Pavert, Luca Bremer, Daniel ten Bak, Jelte Bouma, Nick Pluimers, Chantal van Handel and Ser Wouters still circulating. And those 9 minutes don't feel like a long time, but when you're Enzo Bol at the front of the field, they feel like an eternity. And when you're Jens Streur and Mika van der Pavert, you want them to go on as long as you can. Or you want those 9 minutes to last as long as they can, because you want more time to catch up to Enzo Bol. .8 seconds the gap now for Enzo Bol at the front. A championship leader dominant today. So far, we have to say, because it ain't over to the Fat Lady Sings. And that is only in 1:30 time, plus 1 lap. Mika van der Pavert in 3rd place. Boy, would he love to get past Jens Streur. Would greatly help his bid to finish 2nd in the championship. Robin Guilherme is 3rd in the championship. Not here this weekend, sadly, Robin. Points between those two, only 2 or 3 points different. It's a win in 2nd place. Enzo Bol will come around next time round to start the final lap of the race. There is Enzo Bol, went through shot right there. Then it's Jens Streur with a bit of a gap back to Mika van der Pavert. Last lap has started. The gap to Luca Bremer and Daniel ten Bak is the biggest gap in the top 3. But Luca Bremer and Daniel ten Bak still fighting over that 4th place. Luca Bremer has already lost 1 position since the start. Does not want to lose another one, but I can tell you who won't lose another position. It's Enzo Bol, the 255. Because he wins Heat 1 on the Saturday. And he was dominant once again, our championship leader, Enzo Bol. But he got a 3-second penalty for a false start. And that does then drop him behind Jens Terug by about 0.4 of a second. So our winner in this race is Jens Terug. That penalty's just come through. And Jens Terug wins by 0.4 of a second over Enzo Bol, beats him once again. But Enzo Bol showed the speed he had. Here's your result then. Jens Terug wins ahead of Enzo Bol in second. Mika van der Pavert finds himself in third ahead of Luca Bremer in fourth. Daniel Tenbach in fifth. Nick Pluimers in sixth. Jelte Bauma in seventh. Chantal van Handel in eighth. And Ser Wouters in ninth. The drivers not seeing the start or the checkered flag are Nelson Berghuis, Sam van Voskuilen and Kane Inche. Next up here at the Erftlandring in Kerpen is KZ2 Master. All right, off we go for the KZ2 Masters. And if the previous KZ2 was anything to go by, you don't want to miss this race, do you? And especially not the start. Always exciting, the starts in KZ2. Jeroen Bos and Mick Bertram will be on the front row with Jeroen Bos on pole position. Erik. And then in third, Glenn van den Hoek in fourth, Maarten Versteeg in fifth, Basteen in sixth, seventh is Bastiaan Koppenol, eighth is Mike Hendricks, ninth is Edgar Oosting, 10th Mark Verhoeven and 11th is Benno Ridder. Erik Angenent finds himself looking at the front row. Hopefully this time though on the front row our pole sitter Jeroen Bos will not get the jump start. So then, on to the formation lap we went. And once the drivers come round this time, then they'll line up just like they did in KZ2. Nothing different for the Masters. They might be a little older and for sure more experienced at their age. But they'll do a standing start just like KZ2. And let's see if the experience of Jeroen Bos can shine through. Not to get the jump start. Minimum weight also a tiny bit higher for the Masters. As soon as the green flag waves at the back of the grid, look on the left-hand side of the screen. There is the green flag. The lights will come on. I can see them this time. They're out, we're underway. It's not a good start at all for Jeroen Bos. Mick Bertram into the lead. Glenn van den Hoek also got past Jeroen Bos. Erik Angenant also lost the position. He was behind Jeroen Bos from the front row. Maarten Versteeg then in fifth, Basteen sixth, Bastiaan Koppenol seventh, Mike Hendricks eighth, Mark Verhoeven ninth, Edgar Oosting in 10th, and Benno Ridder in P11. That was the start phase. Rounding off the final corner for the first time in racing conditions is Mick Bertram in P1, Jeroen Bos in second, third is Glenn van den Hoek. Jeroen Bos already got back up at the second place. Looking at a potential overtake on Mick Bertram. When can he go for a move? Patiently waiting. A bit of a wider line, get a better exit up the hill. And that momentum will carry. Oh, he's all over the back of Mick Bertram. Will he go for a move into the final corner? No, he'll wait. Drives a tighter line. Oh, in the slipstream now. Jeroen Bos might think about a move into turn one. He's going to go for one. There he is on the inside. It's Mick Bertram defending. Very late defense from the 140. Jeroen Bos forced round the outside. Thinks the better of it. Glenn van den Hoek, because of the fighting of the two up ahead, has also caught up to them. He has to watch out now, Jeroen Bos, that he doesn't find himself in third place soon. don't get caught out by Glenn van den Hoek. Oh, there we go. No, side by side. And off the road goes Jeroen Bos. Mick Bertram was on the inside. And 2 did not go into 1 this time. Jeroen Bos all the way down to 4th. And Bertram keeps the lead. Glenn van den Hoek now up into 2nd. He's now all over the rear bumper of Mick Bertram. But drama early in the weekend for KZ2 Masters. And let me tell you, that's not a pleasant place to go off. Because that was gravel that he went through. He will not have liked that. He's already almost caught up to the back of Sebastian Koppenol. 8/10 is the gap to Mick Bertram, who is still full on in the defense on Glenn van den Hoek. Two DNFs sadly already. Mike Hendricks and Edgar Oosting, they're out of the race. 9 still circulating. Benno Ridder is the last one of those. Mick Bertram leading the way. Now a tiny bit of a gap though to Glenn van den Hoek. Sebastian Koppenol under pressure from Jeroen Bos. When will he make the move? Might be a matter of time for Jeroen Bos. Looking up the inside, can't quite make it. The wider entry from Sebastian Koppenol is what keeps him in 3rd on the exit 2. Jeroen Bos fastest lap of the race by 4/10 of a second over anyone ahead of him. 4/10 of a second quicker than Glenn van den Hoek, Mick Bertram and Sebastian Koppenol. But he's stuck at the moment behind Sebastian Koppenol, can't get past. And then time gets tight. There he goes, up the inside of turn 2. Up the inside of Spitskeren. And up into P3 goes Jeroen Bos. Next up on the list for him is Glenn van den Hoek. And then the man who he was battling with so early, or so hard early on in the race. Yeah, look at that. Jeroen Bos, 42.8. Even with a move down on the turn 1, he sets the fastest lap of the race. He just looks unbeatable, even from where he is now. You'd be crazy to bet against him getting back to P1. Glenn van den Hoek is the first one he has to pass. And then it's Mick Bertram. Mick Bertram has a tiny bit of a gap now to Glenn van den Hoek. He's already on the rear bumper. Jeroen Bos, 42.8 again. Here's his fastest lap, 42.9 last time around. Up the hill they come. What a great shot. When will Jeroen Bos go for a move? It took him a while to size up a move on Sebastian Koppenol. How long will it take him to get past Glenn van den Hoek? Every lap he spends behind Glenn van den Hoek is less of a chance. to get to Mick Bertram and go for a pass for the lead. That pass that was coming since lap 2. Here you go, now he's close, now he's close, he's got the run. Has to stick behind though, so frustrating. He's close going onto the straight now. Human DRS activated for Jeroen Bos. Thinks about a move up the inside, looks up the inside, can't get past. And with every lap that goes by, the chance of Mick Bertram winning this race becomes bigger and bigger. Another lap completed. 3 more laps to go from here. Two more laps now for Mick Bertram. 4/10 is the gap. Jeroen Bos still hasn't gotten past Glenn van den Hoek. Or will he be able to do that this time round? 4/10 is the gap. That is a lot to catch up in just one tour of this track. And then pass Mick Bertram. It's almost impossible for Mick Bertram not to win this race if he does stay concentrated and nothing crazy happens. But Jeroen Bos will be eager to get back up into second place at least. Mick Bertram, your championship leader, with Jeroen Bos in second. Would be a massive weekend if Mick Bertram can also finish ahead of Jeroen Bos here. Just 16 points the difference between those two in the championship. And he has gotten past on the final lap. Mick Bertram's come through to win. Jeroen Bos finishes in second ahead of Glenn van den Hoek. Sebastian Koppenol finishes fourth. Erik Angerand in P5. Maarten Versteeg finishes in sixth ahead of Bas Steen in seventh. But what a race we've seen from Jeroen Bos. Here we go, here's the result. As I said, Mick Bertram wins, Jeroen Bos second, Glenn van den Hoek, that's your top 3. And the only 2 that I didn't name on here are Mark Verhoeven and Benno Ridder. 2 drivers did not see the checkered flag. Mike Hendricks and Edgar Oosting, they DNF'd sadly. What a race from Jeroen Bos. Really showed the speed he has this weekend. And it could be a massive one if he's able to convert that pole position tomorrow into a victory. Right, 2 more to go for the Saturday, and it's Micro Max up next. As the engines turn on for Micro Max. It's time to get rolling. A total of 15 drivers in Micro Max. And here is how they line up for this event. Alessio Zani finds himself on the pole position. And Ertugrul Yilmaz finds himself in second. Hussein Alusini in third. Victor Moser in fourth. Kenji Schreurs in fifth. Leonard Marks in P6. Henry Mouillard in P7. And Julian Laurensen in eighth. Ian Houff. Marlon Wachkowski, that's your fifth row of the grid. Sixth row of the grid, Mats van Aalst. And Jeff Kennens. Then your seventh row of the grid is Quinten Krijns and Thibaut Smets. And 15th and last on the grid is Sven Berghuisi. All right, warm-up lap had already. Up next is our formation lap. All right, something happened on the formation lap. Two drivers just went past start finish. Meanwhile, these are lining up. Can the other two make it to the back of the train before they start? I doubt so. Here we go then. Into the tram lines, lights are out, we're underway and racing. Good start from Alessio Zani. Ertugrul Yilmaz had no one behind him, big gap. If you're wondering why there was a gap between first and fifth, I was wondering the same thing, but Victor Moser and Sven Berghuisi dropped down the order quite a bit. Here we go, rounding off the final corner for the first time in race conditions. It's the 22 who's leading of Alessio Zani. The 7 of Ertugrul Yilmaz is trying to chase him down. And at the back of the grid, it's Sven Berghuisi and Victor Moser, who, for some weird reason, fell all the way back. Fastest lap of the race currently for our leader as well, Alessio Zani. He's creating himself a nice and handy gap at the front. Ertugrul Yilmaz is the one chasing him down, but also under pressure. Under pressure from Hussein Alusini. 3/10 was the gap last time round. And there is that pressure I was talking about. That's less than 3/10 this time. Can Alusini think about a move here? Into turn 2, Spitzkehre. We cut to that camera. No, not this time. Hussein Alusini thinks the better of it. But it's his time. And again, we cross the line. Alessio Zani with a 1.2 almost second lead. Ertugrul Yilmaz. Still under pressure from Hussein Alusini. Then in P4 you have Henry Mouillard, who's up 3 positions. Biggest gain here together with Quinten Krijns, also up 3 positions. Quinten Krijns down in P10. There's a big train as well. We're following it on screen. Kenji Skreus and Leonard Max. That's for 5th place, that battle. Big train behind Kenji Skreus. Looking to the inside. No way through there. Yeah, Alessio Zani never looking back after the start of the race. Commanding lead already. And if things stay as they are, that'll probably stay that way as well. Kenji Skreus has lost the position towards Leonard Marx. Leonard Marx now the driver at the front of that train. KG Skreus now trying to put pressure on our 5th place driver of Leonard Marx. Oh, Ertugrul Yilmaz under pressure now from Hussein Alusini. There you go. That's for 2nd place. And that's how close it is. A 10th.5 between them last time. New fastest lap of the race for Alessio Zani. Who else? A 50.9. He's the only driver together with Mats van Aalst in P9, who's in the 50s. All the rest in the low 51s. And what happened to Mats van Aalst that he is down in P9 with those times? Last time around, the 50.9. Anyone in front of him, half a second slower at least. He's now stuck in that battle with Kenji Schreus and Leonard Marx at the front of it. And they can't seem to settle who's going to lead that pack. Marlon Wojtkowski down to 10th. Lost 2 positions on that lap. We're on to the final lap next time round. Race has flown by. Rounding the final corner is Alessio Zani to start the final lap of the race. Last lap board is out at start finish. Everyone can see it. And thus will Asena Luzini try one last move. No is the answer. Too far back into turn 1. Is going to have to try somewhere else. Henry Mouillard's also getting closer to Asena Luzini. Might even drop outside the top 3 from looking at the rear bumper of Ertugrul Yilmaz all race. To having to worry about the guy that is looking at your rear bumper. Henry Mouillard might still take 3rd place away in this race from Asena Luzini. But rounding the final corner is Alessio Zani to win Heat 1. Mega performance. Ertugrul Yilmaz stays ahead of Asena Luzini. The top 3 finishes as they started. Henry Mouillard up 3 positions. Mats van Aalst up 5. Quinten Kreins up 5. Kenji Schreus or down to Victor Moser, down 9. What on earth happened to Victor Moser to lose 9 positions? Might have been one of the drivers who was caught up in the slow formation lap. There you go, Alessio Zani wins ahead of Ertugrul Yilmaz, then Asena Luzini, Henry Mouillard, Leonard Marx, Mats van Aalst, Kenji Schreus in 7th, Quinten Kreins in 8th, Julian Lauritsen in 9th, and Marlon Wojtkowski rounding off your top 10. Jeff Kennens in 11th, ahead of Thibaut Smets in P12, P13 for Victor Moser, and Sven Borghuizy. That is your last 14. Not seeing the checker flag is Ian Howell in P15. Right, that was it for Micro Max. Up next here at Kerpen, Mini Max. Righty then, last heat of the day. And it's Minimax up first. Oh, excuse me. It was Max Max Junior up first, then Max Senior, DD2 Masters, and DD2 KZ2 then, and then after that KZ2 Masters. Then we just had Micromax. Minimax is our final heat of the day. And really quickly, we're going to go through the grid. Noah Stehouder and Christian Abels on the front row. Noah Stehouder on pole. Laurens van Vlaanderen third. Dani van der Molen in fourth. Ryan Rampadaert fifth. Lieve Lathouwer is in sixth. Milo de Kouwsmaker seventh. Flynn Locker in eighth. Ninth is Lasse van der Weijden and Jari Berends in 10th. 11th, Skavi Riddeke. Theo Frare in P12. And that's all we're going to get through. As the race, we have gotten lucky in the commentary booth. A little less lucky down on the racetrack. They're going to have to do that start again. Well, that gives us the time to slowly go through the starting grid. As I just said, Noah Stehouder and Christian Abels on the front row. Noah Stehouder is the one on pole position. Laurens van Vlaanderen in third, Dani van der Molen in fourth, Ryan Rampadaert in fifth, and Liewe Lathouwer is in sixth. Milo de Kouwsmaker seventh, Flynn Loker in eighth, Lasse van der Weijden in ninth, and Jari Berends rounding off your top 10. Then Savi Riddeke in 11th, Theo Frauer in P12, Daan Hillen in P13, Theon Alogi in P14, Daniel Siemens in P15, Arno Hartstra in P16, Jenna Hansen in 17th, Jesse Moon in 18th, Olivier Opbroek in P19 and Mark Wernsen in P20. Right, let's try that start again, shall we, for Minimax. Here we go, getting told once again to slow right down. Lights go out this time. And this time we're underway and racing for the final time on the Saturday. Into turn one. Leaders keep their positions. And for the ones on the sideline, that's always great to see. Top 5 was as they were. Coming out of turn one. Still loads of jostling for position. Laurens van Vlaanderen is right on the back of Noah Stehouder. Was it Christian Abels? We'll see once we come across the line. And here we do that for the first time. It was indeed Noah Stehouder, who Laurens van Vlaanderen was behind. Oh my goodness. Christian Abels, second place on the grid, down 5 from lap 1. Down in 7th place now. Laurens van Vlaanderen in second, Ryan Rampadaert in third, Dani van der Molen in fourth, Milo de Kouwsmaker fifth, Liewe Lathouwer sixth, and then Christian Abels. We dropped down 5 positions on the opening lap. Noah Stehouder, here they come to round off the final corner. Still nose to tail. Laurens van Vlaanderen on the bumper of Noah Stehouder. Really go for a move in the turn one. Has a look at it, thinks the better of it. Those two housed in the same tent. And thus, a little more patient than he maybe would usually be, Laurens van Vlaanderen. Ryan Rampadaert is also biting his time in third. Dani van der Molen finds himself in 4th place, a little further back of the top 3. He's the leader of his own group. Dani van der Molen, Milo de Kousmaker, Tristan Awil, Xavier Radecki are all part of that group. And a little further back on that, we have another group. Lasse van der Weijden, Flynn Loker, de nieuwe Lathouwers. Flynn Loker, excuse me. Oh, human DRS being used by Noah Steyhouder. And it was needed down the front straight. Because Laurens van Vlaanderen was close enough to think about a move into turn one. Thought the better of it again. As up the hill they come, the three of them, still nose to tail. It's a great battle to see at the front. And once again, they nose to tail, this time going for a move down in the turn one as we cut to that camera, looking up the inside. Laurens van Vlaanderen up into P1 momentarily. T2 takes that a lot tighter, and there you go. Laurens van Vlaanderen up into first place out of Noah Steyhouder now. Noah not happy to sit back and relax like Laurens van Vlaanderen was doing earlier on. Can Ryan Rampedaert take advantage of that? Now what's happened to Flynn Loker? He's dropped down 2 positions of his starting position as well now. Tristan Awil is back up into 5th, doing as much as he can to catch back up that time lost on lap 1. Oh, here we go. Here comes Ryan Rampedaert up the inside of Noah Steyhouder. And that is a statement on its own. Wants to go and chase down our race leader. Laurens van Vlaanderen. Oh, as I look up the inside, more also as a defensive move on Noah Steyhouder. That does slow them both down. This is great for Laurens van Vlaanderen. Ryan Rampedaert and Noah Steyhouder. The two now battling. As there's a 3-second time penalty for 2 wheels outside the corridor during the start procedure for numbers 116 and 147. That's Flynn Loker who gets that penalty. Flynn Loker, and I can't find a 147 in the race. It might have been the 174 of Jari Berends in that case. Regardless, it doesn't impact the battle we're seeing with the top two. As once again, Noah Steyhouder has gotten past Ryan Rampedaert during this lap. Ryan Rampedaert has now dropped off significantly of those two. I wonder if there was some contact. But he's now having to fend off Tristan Abels. Not long to go now in this race. Just 2 more laps remaining after this one. Up the hill they come. Rounding off the final corner. Two laps to go. Two laps to go for Laurens van Vlaanderen to hang on. 2 laps to go for Noah Steyaert to get back to where he started. As they rise over the crest, here he comes, Noah Steyaert on the back of Laurens van Vlaanderen. Has to stay there through the final corner. Does stay there through the final corner, does drop off a tiny bit. Can he, with a run of a lifetime, go for a move into turn 1? Yes, he can! Round the outside, the switch back on the exit of turn 1 will give him the outside for turn 3 again. And Noah Steyaert has to be happy with his 2nd place, or has he? Up the inside, once again, and is he ahead? No, he's still not ahead. Laurens van Vlaanderen still ahead of Noah Steyaert. Once again, they will rise up the hill. Come over the crest. There's still nose to tail. Final corner will be your spectacle this time round. Not this time. Stays in 2nd, takes the 2nd place home. Laurens van Vlaanderen wins ahead of Noah Steyaert. A valid defense from Laurens van Vlaanderen on that last lap. Noah Steyaert, not much more he could have done. Laurens van Vlaanderen was just perfect in his defense. Daan van der Molen finds himself in 3rd place. And then it's Tristan Abels in 4th. Rounding off your top 5 is Ryan Rampedaert. Tristan Abels, what a comeback drive from him. All the way down in P7 with quite a bit of a gap. And he managed to find his way all the way back out to P4. And just over 0.6 of a second away from P1. Mega drive by Tristan Abels. Here's your result then. Laurens van Vlaanderen wins ahead of Noah Steyaert in 2nd. Daan van der Molen in 3rd. Tristan Abels in 4th. Ryan Rampedaert in 5th. Milo de Kousmaker in 6th. Lasse van der Weijden in 7th. Savi de Dekkie in P8. Liewe Lathouwers in 9th. And Flynn Lockers in P10. Jessimone in 11th. Tejan Alongo in P12. Olivier Opbroek in P13. Jenna Hansen in P14. Mark Wensen in P15, Daniel Siemens 16th, Arno Hartstra P17, Jari Berends 18th, and Daan Hillen in 19th. And of our 20 drivers, the only one not seeing the checkered flag was Theo Fraer. That was it then for the Saturday here at the Erftlandring in Kerpen. Mega action for today, and we won't stop there. Tomorrow we will be back with more action. And tomorrow, the winners of the event will also be decided. Tomorrow morning, we'll start with free practice. This will not be broadcasted. Can be followed through the live timing, though. But Heat 2 will start tomorrow at 10:30 with Micromax. Then Minimax at 10:50 and so on. And then the finals start at 13:20 local time tomorrow. So make sure you come back tomorrow because you do not want to miss any of the action. For today, though, this was it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.